Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session, coordination, the linking system. In the last class, we have studied the concepts related to coordination with some examples, and we ended the class with the structure of neuron. Okay, here the structure of neuron is considered as the unit of nervous system. Each neuron mainly consists of three distinct regions. What are they? The cell body, dendrites, and axon. Most of the cell bodies are located in the brain or the spinal cord. Means the nervous tissue is made up of neurons. Okay. So what is cell body? Cell body controls the metabolism of the nerve cell, or we can say it is the head of the neuron. So what are dendrites? Dendrites are the projections from the cell body, or it is also called cytone. These dendrites main function is collect the information from other cells. If you take a neuron, the main parts it consists of cell body and axon. Okay, from the cell body, these are the projections are there. No, they are called dendrites, which are branched. What is the main function of these dendrites? The dendrites function is to collect the information from other neurons. Okay. Next, axon. What is axon? What is its function? Axon is a long thread-like or fiber-like structure which carries the information from the cell body, sometimes over very long distances also it will carry the information. Okay. So these axons are covered by a special fatty tissue, what we are call it as myelin sheath. This myelin sheath possesses some gaps. What do you call those gaps? Nodes of Ranvier. Nodes of Ranvier. What is the nodes of Ranvier? They allow the rapid conduction of impulses by forcing them to jump from one node to the next node. Those gaps in the myelin sheath helps in effective nerve transmission. Okay. The fatty sheath made up of myelin, so it gives the electrical insulation, means it prevents the leakage of electrical impulses between the neighboring cells and makes the impulses travel very faster. Okay. And these nerve axon, the part of axon ends in the thread-like structures. They are called nerve terminals. So these nerve terminals will attach to another neuron. They attach it to another neuron where the junction there is a space called synapse. The end plate which synapses with another nerve cell or an effective organ, means it may be a muscle or a gland. So this is about the axon. Okay. If this myelin sheath is present, they are called myelinated axon. If the myelin sheath is absent, they are non-myelinated axons. So these nodes of Ranvier are the non-myelinated gaps There is a gap here, see. This is called nodes of Ranvier. So these gap sheath increases the speed of nerve impulse, conduction, and also insulates the axon. So it prevents the mixing of impulses in the adjacent fibers. Okay, today more we are going to study about the types of neurons. Okay, so there are different types of neurons are present. So let us proceed. Are you ready, children? The structure of neuron. There is another activity is given. We know that the nerve cell is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Our nervous system consists of around about 10 billion of neurons which communicate each other in a specific manner. The dendrites of one nerve cell connects with the other or to the axon. See here. So here these are the dendrites. This is the cell body. The projections from the cell body which are branched, they are called dendrites. So these are the there are 3 neurons are here. You can see the dendrites may be either connect with the other dendrites of another neuron, or they may connect to the nerve terminals. Okay. So dendrites of one nerve cell connect to the other or to the axons of the other nerve cell through connections called synapse. So here there is a gap between these two. There is a gap that is called as a synapse. Okay. What is the use of that synapse? For effective nerve transmission. Synapse is a junctional region between two neurons where information from one neuron is transmitted or handed over to another neuron. Okay, children, very simple definition for synapse. Synapse is a junctional region between two neurons where information from one neuron is transmitted or handed over to another neuron, but there is no protoplasmic connection between the two neurons. There is no connection. Okay. The synapse comprises the junction formed by two membranes, one from each cell, and the fluid filled space between the membranes. Okay. Because neural messages travel in one direction, the membrane of sending cell is called as presynaptic membrane, and that of the receiving cell, is called postsynaptic membrane. The fluid filled gap is to be synaptic cleft. Okay, what is the function of the synapse? Means it helps in passing information from one neuron to another, and it helps the adjacent neurons to be excited. Okay, it may be excited or inhibited, or we can say it amplifies a signal. It amplifies a signal because all the informations are passed in the form of electrical impulses. Okay, so this synapse helps in effective nerve transmission. Okay, synapse is the functional region of contact between the two neurons where the information from one neuron is transmitted or relayed to another neuron. Okay, see here. This is the synapse. That's why we are calling it as nerve impulse. It is also called as action potential. So it is called presynaptic sending information, postsynaptic receiving the information through this junction called synapse. Okay. So though these are the regions of minute gaps, and essentially neurons do not have any protoplasmic connection between them, yet the information is passed from one nerve cell to other through these gaps, either in the form of chemical or electrical signals, or both. Okay, both chemical and electrical signals. So these synapses are mainly found on the brain, spinal cord, and around the spinal cord. Beyond these areas, the axon carries the signals to respective areas in our body. So what is an axon? Axons, several axons combined together, united to form a nerve fiber. So they carry the signals. We are calling it as pathways. Pathways means from stimulus to response. In the holding stick activity we have seen, you observe that there is a coordination between the eye and fingers. So different pathways are taken up by nerves to bring about the coordinated activity. Okay, how that coordinated activity takes place? First, stimulus. The stimulus received by receptors. What are receptors? Receptors are the special cells with which the sense organs are designed. Okay, for example, that scale activity. The scale is held with the hand, held in the hand. So the skin of the hands containing the receptors which receive that stimulus, okay, which is carried by the sensory neuron to central nervous system. Here we are mentioning CNS. CNS means central nervous system. That information carried to brain or spinal cord. Okay, central nervous system is composed of brain and spinal cord. Okay, so that information is processed or relayed by the neurons, and the information is generated, response is generated. That response is carried by motor neuron. Okay, we are going to discuss further about the types of neurons. There are three main types of neurons are there: sensory or efferent neurons, motor or efferent neurons, and associated neurons or interneurons. Okay, so the information is generated in the central nervous system, is carried by the motor neuron to the effector organ. That effector organ may be the gland or muscle or any organ. So immediately the organ will respond. Okay, that's why when the scale is pulled by somebody, so we try to hold it very tightly. So that is the response. Okay, so on the basis of pathways followed, nerves are classified mainly into three different types. Okay, first one is efferent neurons. Efferent means incoming. They are also called sensory neurons. Sensory neurons transmit impulses from receptors to the brain and spinal cord. So these are called efferent fibers. Okay, efferent, the meaning is ferrying towards or incoming, which carry the messages towards the central nervous system, brain or spinal cord, from nerve endings on the muscles of different sense organs that sense the change in surroundings are called stimulus detectors. They are called stimulus detectors. Okay, the stimulus detectors are nothing but the receptors. Efferent neurons will carry the messages from sense organs to brain and spinal cord. That's why they are also called sensory nerves or sensory neurons. Okay, efferent neurons. Efferent means ferrying towards or incoming. Okay, these are also called the sensory nerves. So that's why you see here in that transmission, nerve transmission also, first the stimulus carried by the receptors, that information is carried by sensory neurons to central nervous system. Okay, as they carry the sensory information, they are called the sensory neurons. The basic information regarding the stimulus is carried to the brain and spinal cord by these sensory nerves. Next, second type of nerves, they are called motor nerves, or we can say motor neurons. We are discussing about the neurons. Okay, nerves means again by the combination of those axons together they form the nerves. Okay, efferent neurons means they are also called the motor neurons. They carry the messages or instructions from the brain and spinal cord through efferent fibers to various organs. Okay, they are called motor neurons. Efferent means ferrying away, means outcoming nerves, which carry the messages from the central nervous system to parts that shall carry out the response or the effector organs. Okay, the effectors are nothing but nerve endings. They are also called motor nerves. Next, the third type of neurons, they are called associated neurons or association nerves. They are also called connector neurons. Association nerves which link together the afferent and efferent nerves. Okay, afferent, AFF, means sensory. Efferent means EFF, means outgoing, motor. Okay, EFF motor neurons, AFF sensory neurons. Associated nerves means which connect these two, afferent and efferent nerve fibers. They are called associated nerves. Okay, so here these connector neurons, these nerves interconnect the sensory and motor neurons and are located in the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and even the nerves are divided into different types based on the structure of neurons. Okay, based on the structure, neurons may be of different types. So like unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons and multipolar neurons. Okay, so for example, the neuron here is a multipolar neuron. The cyton shows several branches, more dendrites. Unipolar neuron means it has a single and very short fiber. This fiber immediately divides into proximal and distal fibers. Dendrites are absent. In unipolar neurons, dendrites are absent. Bipolar means it has two regions, axon and dendrite. Okay, and multipolar means the cyton is branched at many points and forming many poles. Okay, so now the classification of nerves on the basis of pathways. We know that our body would also need to respond to certain situations on which we may not have a control. Okay, so here which organs of your body was the detector and which the effector in activity 1? So let us let us answer to this question. Which organ of your body was the detector and which the effector? The detector means which organ? Sense organs. Either it may be the eyes or it may be the skin or it may be the tongue or any. Okay, it is the detector. And effector means responded, which is your muscles. Okay, what do you think that the information carried on the afferent and efferent nerves? Okay, the afferent nerves carry the stimuli and efferent nerves carry the response. Very simple. Okay, so when you touch a hot object, that information is carried by sense organ to the brain and spinal cord, response is generated, and that response is carried through motor nerves to the effector organ, that is the hand. We remove immediately. Okay, within fraction of seconds the information will pass to and fro. Okay, the stimuli is passed to the brain and spinal cord, response is generated, and immediate action took place. Okay, children, so this is very important. We know that our body would also need to respond to certain situations on which we may not have control. Some spark actions takes place. Such responses are called reflexes. Okay, so a simple activity, once again activity 3, it will help us to understand these reflexes better. Knee jerk reflex, a simple. Cross the legs in a seated position so that the lower half of the uppermost leg hangs freely. Okay, if you sit on a table and you hang your legs, okay, then that is the position. See here in the image, here this experiment is conducted in the presence of a doctor, okay, or generally we will experience sometimes on the knees or elbow, sometimes on the elbow, when you, okay, when it hit to something, immediately some jerk takes place. So here we are conducting the experiment, knee jerk experiment. So strike the area below the kneecap sharply while firmly grasping the front part of the thigh with the other hand. Okay, so in the image you can see that here the kneecap, below the kneecap, here a force is applied here. Okay, so the different nerve pathways, if you take the brain and spinal cord with the help of associated neurons, okay, first from the brain and spinal cord, afferent neurons will carry the information to the brain and spinal cord, and the response is generated. And efferent nerves always carry that response to the effector organ. This is the nerve pathway. Okay, so especially these associated neurons are present in the spinal cord. Okay, knee jerk reflex. Note the changes in the shape of the thigh muscles. You can note that although we are fully conscious, we cannot prevent the thigh muscles from contracting. Okay, due to the jerk, what happened? The thigh muscles will get contract. Actually, the thigh muscles are voluntary muscles. It is under the control. Okay, but without control only they will contract. Such a response is said to be involuntary. What is the meaning of involuntary? The actions which takes place without involvement of brain, without our will and wish. Okay, such actions are called involuntary actions. Now the same thigh muscles can operate in a voluntary manner, as when we kick a football. Willfully we are kicking a football, then the thigh muscles will contract. Okay, So do you think most of the functions in our body go about in an involuntary manner? Why? Why not? Okay. So most of the functions, they are voluntary. Okay, involuntary manner, certain functions takes place in voluntary manner. For example, your heartbeat, it is not under our control. Okay, involuntary muscles are present in the heart. So continuously from birth to death it takes place. In the similar manner, some involuntary muscles, they are also present in the lungs, respiration. It is also a continuous process. Okay, it is most important that there are very some involuntary actions which takes place continuously from birth to death. That is the design of our biological system. Okay. Next, because about these muscles you already studied in the 9th class. Okay, our body need a response to certain situations on which we may not have a control. Such responses are called reflexes. Okay, so for example, the existence of knee jerk, which we have studied just now, it was first noted in 1875. At first it was doubted whether the nerve reflex was involved at all, but it was discovered that if in an anesthetized monkey, means already some drug is given, okay, anesthetized monkey, where the spinal nerves supplying the limb were cut, the spinal nerves which are supplied to the limb were cut, the knee jerk reaction would not occur. Okay, clearly a nerve pathway was involved. Okay, so what does it mean? Scientists conducted the experiment whether the nerve pathway involved in this knee jerk. Okay, this experiment was conducted in 1875. So during the actions which are involuntary and have to be carried out in very short intervals of time, the pathway that nerves follow is a short one. It does not go up to the brain, while voluntary pathways are usually longer, passing through the brain. Okay, means what does it mean? The involuntary actions will be carrying out in the body, but they are very short intervals of time. They carry out in very less time. They are not carried to the brain. But whereas the regular pathways, voluntary pathways, they are very long passing through the brain. Brain is involving in the voluntary actions. So now let us see what pathways actually are. So not until the end of the 19th century, the reflexes was understood in terms of pathways. So picking up information of a stimulus to generate a response involves a pathway from detector to the brain or spinal cord, or a set of nerve cells heads near the spinal cord to the effector organ. Always the informations carried from effector to the brain. In between the effector and brain, there is a spinal cord. The spinal cord acts like a bridge between the brain and effectors. Okay, so here these spinal cord actually plays very important role. You can see the structure here, reflex arc. The reflex arc involves 4 main components, that is the sensory neuron, the first one, then the motor neuron, effector muscle, and spinal cord. Okay, the spinal cord itself, or we can say it is also called associated neurons. Okay, the information first, for example, here the reflex arc. Here the person is accidentally put his leg on a sharp nail. Okay, that pain is the stimulus. It is carried by sensory neuron to the spinal cord, where the information is analyzed and the response is generated. That response is carried by the associated neuron, passes that information to the motor nerve. From that motor nerve, that information is carried to the muscles of the leg. So that is effector muscle. So immediately we take out the leg. So this process takes place in fraction of seconds. This is called a reflex action. Okay, the structural and functional unit of reflex action is called a reflex arc. Okay, what is reflex arc? The structural and functional unit which carry out the reflex action is called a reflex arc. Okay, so this reflex arc involves a pathway. Such a single pathway going up to the spinal cord from detectors and returning to the effectors is a reflex arc. Okay, if you accidentally touch a very sharp surface with your feet, so several such arcs would operate to cause the muscles of the leg to withdraw the feet. So observe in this figure how our leg muscle respond when we step on a sharp edged object. Okay, it may be a nail or it may be a stone. Okay, immediately we withdraw our feet. So what other effectors would act under these circumstances? Okay, not only this. For example, when you are crossing the road, okay, a sharp light fall on your eyes. Okay, immediate response, our eyelids will close. It is also one example. Okay, or when your mother gave you a cup of milk which is very hot, when you are in some work and touch it, immediately we take out your arm. Okay, that is also a kind of a reflex. Okay, so what does this tell us about the association of nerves? Okay, there is a coordination, there is association. The spinal cord, the associated neurons which are formed by the association of afferent and efferent, means sensory and motor nerve fibers. Okay, this is responsible for carrying that immediate responses to the effector organs. Okay, okay children, more reflexes you can see in our day-to-day life. Okay, when somebody throw anything on us, when you are conscious, immediately we try to escape from that. Okay, this is also an example of reflex. Okay, you try to notice the different reflexes in our life, in your day-to-day life. Okay, make a note. Okay, please read the textbook. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.